Hey, this is a little update video for those of you with a version 2 who are talking about doing a downpipe. I have spent the past 4 hours moving things around, trying to find ways to disconnect all of the EGR components from up top and underneath this version 2 engine. And I can tell you right now, doing it while the engine is in the car is going to take probably 8 hours to do for me, who works on these cars often. Unfortunately, I have to tell you, the easiest way to do the downpipe on this vehicle is to pull the motor out. And the reason for that is because of where everything is located. So obviously, we have our turbocharger here. To get the inlet tube off, you got to take the blow-off valve off, unplug the EGR flow control sensor. Then you have to undo the 2 bolts from the side over here, which means the intake needs to be off over here. Getting that off and then getting onto that worm gear clamp right there, I had to use a very specific set of extensions and such to do it. It was a nightmare. And that's just the top of your EGR control valve. All these hoses and everything down under here also need to be removed to gain access to the oil drain line. The only way to do that would be from under the car. The problem is, underneath the car, around right here, there's a 2-bolt flange for the EGR, which is where the exhaust actually gets pulled into the system. To get that off, not that big of a deal, but to get behind it, to get to the 3-bolt flange at the bottom of the downpipe, it's like right here, one of the bolts actually goes this way. So to get to that, you got to come up and around. It's just an absolute nightmare to do. Because this downpipe's actually in 2 separate pieces. You have this cat pipe, which is shared between the all-wheel drive and front-wheel drive models, and then there's a 90-degree turn down, which is different between the front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive models, which makes it particularly hard to work on. So unfortunately, the easiest way to do this downpipe is to actually pull the engine either completely out, which is the easiest way. You know, if you really take your time and you are meticulous about things, you can pull the whole engine out in probably 4 or 5 hours. If you're working by yourself, leaving the transmission attached, or maybe try to swing the engine forward and work through all of the tight crevices you're going to have to get through. Now, with my experience doing this at the Nissan dealership on a lift, I can have the engine out of here in under 2 hours, so it's not a big deal. But the 3-bolt flange that is the bottom of the downpipe that I was talking about is the exact same stud and bolts that are used in the version 1 turbo. And if you're not aware, the top one always snaps. The few of these that I did at Nissan when I had to replace the EGR valve, the top stud broke every single time. So it's going to be the exact same struggle when you get to that point. So then at that point, everything's got to come out anyway. So not to deter you guys, but I'm just explaining the process behind removing this downpipe is a lot more complicated than you may imagine. When I remove it during this car's build, I will include that video separately so you guys can check that out. But yeah, that is the downpipe removal procedure for the version 2 MR16. Hi, you made it through a whole video. I appreciate that. You should go check out our other videos. You should also go check out our website, thefastreligion.com. We got like sweatshirts and t-shirts and stuff.